Divine greetings, ones and zeros, zeros and ones, boys and girls that are now men and women, kings and queens, gods and goddesses, spiritual beings of this divine matrix. Welcome. My name is Clay. Today I want to share as I'm relating to this Gemini full moon. We're currently experiencing a Gemini full moon, and I want to speak on the twin realities that exist. And I also want to speak on how this twin reality that exists is a reality for every human being, and how I've come to this awareness and appreciation for this awareness based on me going through the diagnosed schizophrenia, the mental break. So, one of the experiences that I've had, and I continue to have, is that I'm clairaudient, which means that I can hear voices, and it is for me to distinguish whether or not I'm hearing a voice from the outside or I'm hearing a voice from the inside. And when it is that I'm hearing a voice on the inside, sometimes it's a voice between the masculine and feminine, or you could say a voice between the angel and the demon, a voice between the different aspects of self, the different aspects of my own self. And this is relating to the twin reality that exists, or some people would call it dual consciousness. So it's the dual consciousness of the one being, which I am the one being, in service or in tune to the creator being. So I'm the co-creator to the creator. So that again is the twin reality of existence. That's the dualistic nature of things. Another aspect that I want to speak about is as it relates to, again, masculine and feminine, and that being a twin reality. People in the spiritual community, or who are more aware of soul, a soul language, speak about the twin flame. And I want to say that the twin flame, first and foremost, I'm finding out that the twin flame is based internally. So you have to be your own twin flame. So the masculine and feminine has to be its own twin flame to your reality, to your twin reality, to your Gemini. And as I'm experiencing this full moon, I want to point out that if a person is in tune with their emotions, they will notice that every full moon, they experience emotions differently. It's a heightened sense of experiencing emotions. And for the most part, women are more familiar with this awareness, or women are more capable of being in tune with this awareness, that their emotions have gotten heightened. And that is because women are more feminine and men are more masculine. Women are more intuitive, men are more egoic, though we both have the ego and the intuition in both genders. Now, that being said, another way to acknowledge the awareness of the full moon and its effect on rising emotions is that within nature, the sea levels rise with the full moon. And another testimony to this is that during the full moon, you see more problems in asylums, in crazy houses, so to speak, in mental asylums. Mental asylums if you check with Google, or if you've managed to work in a mental asylum, or you know someone who works in a mental asylum, and they speak on the experiences that they have, they will let you know that during the full moon, people tend to go more crazy, as during the full moon, the fragments, or a mind that has been fragmented fragments further, as we all experience this fragmentation. Or if you are a more healed person, you experience expansion. And in this expansion, what this expansion is showing us, that this is the time of manifestation. So the full moon is referred to as a time of manifestation, whereas the new moon, which is the dark moon, is referred to a time of transmutation. So as I'm experiencing this full moon, and as I'm rewiring my mental to be more in tune with the natural cycles that govern the body, as the moon is representative of a cycle. The moon is representative of the feminine cycle. For women, it's much more apparent, because women has their the menstrual cycle, and this menstrual cycle is for the most part happens in a 28, 29, 30-day cycle for most women. Some women it's a little bit off, one way or the other. Now this cycle exists in the man also. However, it's less apparent. In the male species of the human, it is apparent in their emotions. And one of the things that I've been experiencing this full moon cycle, and it took me a time to remember that this is a full moon, is that I'm finding it difficult to receive spirit. I'm finding it difficult to accept the spirit expansion that is happening within me. And that spirit expansion is experiencing blockages, experiencing resistance. And this resistance I'm feeling in my solar plexus. And as I'm feeling it in my solar plexus, it's reminding me that on my thumbnail, I prefer to put the chakra, because the chakra system, or the chakra representation, is a system that has truly helped me in understanding my human mechanism, in understanding my human body, in understanding the fullness of my human embodiment as a mechanism of technology. So as it is this full moon that I am finding it challenging to take a deep breath at times, to receive spirit, I am hearing now from my soul that it is because I'm not paying attention to my identity. In not paying attention to my identity, then I'm not having a proper expression. I'm not having a proper expression through my throat chakra. The throat chakra is representational of the expression doorway, because the throat chakra is that chakra which professes what it is that is within the body. The throat chakra is represented by the terminologies, or the language of the words we call lies and truth. Truth relating to the love frequency, and lies relating to the fear frequency. So as I'm experiencing this resistance, what it's telling me is that I am not being truthful in my identity. And I accept that criticism, I accept that critique from within my soul, rewiring my mental to say that I need to pay attention to every moon cycle because there's a moon inside of me. And when I resist the moon inside of me, then I'm not being sovereign. I'm not being a wholesome being. One cannot live by the sun alone. You can choose to simply live by the sun cycle, which is what the colonization has done to most of the humans on this planet. Most of the humans on this planet have become imbalanced in only looking at the sun for light. And this is a tragedy because the sun has the primary light and the moon has the secondary light. And this is clearly seen if you should embody the vision of an owl. The vision of the owl, which is in Kemet represented as a wise being, and in many other native cultures, the owl is seen as a wise being because symbolically, the owl sees both in the day and in the night, and sees even better in the night than in the day. Testimony of its intuitive prowess, testimony of its feminine inclination. And feminine, as I've said in previous videos, is where you get your instructions from. So when you are being lacking in feminine, you're resisting proper instructions, you're resisting divine instructions, you're resisting source instruction, you're resisting your own instructions when you resist the feminine. Now, the feminine is the instructions, the masculine is the creator, the masculine is the creative, or the masculine is the doer. So this is the twin reality again. So when you have an imbalance, you're going to create things that are not true. And this is how in this civilization, in this colonization of our world, colonization of a social living by humans, we see that it has become patriarchal, it has become masculinated. And as it has become masculinated, it becomes even more and more masculinated. And at this point in the share, I'm reminded to remind myself that this is the age. And I'm reminding myself because it helps to put away judgment. It helps to put away imbalances. In knowing the truth of the age, that this is the age where it is very demonic. This is a very demonic age. It's not the most demonic age, or I shouldn't say the most. It's not the most demonic aspect of the age. However, it is a very demonic age that we're in. And we are now being charged in this age of Aquarius to come out of that demonic age, to no longer rely on only one aspect of ourself, which is the fear self, which is the demonic self, which is the more masculinated self, which is the more patriarchal self, which is the illusionary self. We are being invited to step into our true self, to step into reality, which is the feminine self. And in the feminine, when I'm saying feminine, it's not to go to one aspect of the pendulum and only claim femininity, because that is not true femininity. True femininity maintains a balance. That is true femininity. True femininity is synonymous with love. Love, unconditional love, unconditional love is balanced. When a person is experiencing conditioned love, that is not love. That is a perception of love. Because love accepts everything. In accepting everything, love is balanced. That is how the world, the universe was created. It was created in acceptance of itself, and therefore it maintains a balance. It maintains an equilibrium. And this equilibrium allows us to have choice. That choice to do bad, that choice to do good. And that choice to do bad and good takes me to that choice takes me to the recognition of the balance between the moon and the sun as luminary bodies, bodies that present us with light, as we are light beings. Some would say light warriors, or some would say light workers. As we are light beings, we must respect both luminaries. And in respecting both luminaries, I'm seeing within my soul that in this age, it is to respect the moon. It is to love the moon. And as you love the moon and the reflection of the moon, you will respect your masculinity. You will respect the sun. You will respect what is called natural daylight. No, there's natural daylight and there's natural nightlight. Some of the natural nightlight comes from the stars, from the luminary bodies of the stars, and some comes from the luminary body of the star called a moon, which the earth has one moon. Unless, of course, you count the other 8 billion moons, as the census has said, the collective human census has said that we on Earth, as humans, are 8 billion people. So essentially, that's 8 billion reflection of moons, 8 billion suns. This is the twin reality that I am experiencing in this full moon in Aquarius in the month of December. And December is, well, I'm not going to get into that. I'm going to remind us, or remind myself, that twin reality is the true reality, and we must always harmonize those twin realities. And if we do not harmonize those twin realities, we will be susceptible to the actuality or the illusionary aspect that takes us to this or that, black or white, Democrat or Republican. For Jamaicans, it's JLP or PNP, and Democrats or Republican is the American political parties. And in most countries, you will find that because of the masculinization of the age and the patriarchal system, in most countries, you will find that there are two factions that the people vote for. And you will also find that those two factions can be looked at as the fox and the wolf. One is going to bite you with a growl, one is going to bite you with a smile, because ultimately the political system is there to fleece you. It is not there to serve the people. Contrary to what most believe, in this age, we have to see that government is an illusion. in this age, we have it to see it. As I'm seeing it, one can choose to see that government, the government, any government, is an illusion. As Bob Marley would have said, every government illegal. Because no government is operating according to nature. No government is operating according to the natural systems of the earth. And these truths that I'm speaking is easily verifiable intuitively, as well as it's easily verifiable on Google. And this is where I end this year. As I say, like, comment, subscribe, share if you dare. Ashe, Amen, and Namaste. Ubuntu. Each one, reach one, teach one.